So I know this is not the video you were expecting after the LeBron video. It was supposed to be a video on the Tigers Gold Glove award, but I did get a new subscriber from that video, and with how small the growth is being, I figured why not be nice to him after he subscribed. Why not be nice and give him a football video to watch because he's probably looking for football content, and I have seen a bit of an influx in subscribers since I put out football videos. So there are some people, newer viewers here, who are here for football videos, football rants. So I figured, why not put this out? This is more of a joke video. I mean, it's kind of joking, and it's kind of not joking, because this is just a projection of where Jacob Eason might be if we started him. It's a very small sample size of how his stats would translate. So yeah. We're going to take Phillip Rivers, his last college season, and compare it to his first full NFL season. There were 2 seasons where he was back up to Drew Brees in San Diego. But his first full season, and see how it goes. So his first full season, he lost 1,103 passing yards. So So Eason had 3,132. 3,132 minus 1,103 equals 2,029 passing yards. Just compared to how Phillip Rivers did. Now to do the same with touchdowns and interceptions, Rivers had 34 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in his last college season. First NFL season, he had 22 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So there's a decrease in touchdowns there's a decrease in touchdowns by 12, and there's an increase in interceptions by 2. So with Eason's stats, that is 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in his first NFL season. And that is not a very good stat line with 2,029 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. So let's take into account the team around Phillip Rivers when he first joined. So he had LT at running back, but that shouldn't affect it too much as the Colts also have good running backs, so there would probably still be the same amount of attempts at the end of the season, the amount of touches at the end of the season, so that's not going to affect it too much. There's a bit more of a passing game with our running backs, but that'll be mentioned later. But let's talk about offensive line. So Phillip Rivers had 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. Last season, because we haven't played the full season yet, we had 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen and Anthony Costanzo. And we have the same offensive line returning this year, and they are arguably better than last year. So with, a better offensive line than Rivers had, I project an increase in 4 touchdowns and 2 less interceptions, along with 800 more passing yards. I know that seems like a lot, but you guys maybe you don't understand. Because an offensive line can make or break your quarterback situation. If Jacoby Brissett did not have the offensive line he had in Indy the last season he started, his stats would have probably looked much worse if he had a terrible offensive line. Because he wouldn't have as much time in the pocket. So if he's pressured, he'd make more decisions, more interceptions. If he's not, then the receivers have more time to get downfield, so more passing yards, and he has more time to make good decisions, so more touchdowns. Less end zone interceptions too. So it's a big part of how a QB, is. Some QBs can perform very well with a bad offensive line. Others crumble under it and cannot do very good. So with the adjusted stats at that point, that is 2,829 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Still not the best of stat lines, but we still have more to go. So let's also take into account the Colts defense. The Colts defense would get the ball back, as they already have. They get the ball back multiple times for the offense to have another chance and have more, touches, more snaps, more times to score and pass yards, and also more time to throw other interceptions. So I estimate an increase in 3 touchdowns, 1 less interception, and 200 plus passing yards. So that is a total of 3,029 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. A decent stat line. And also, let's take into account the recent explosion of Marcus Johnson being a deep threat. If he keeps that, up, being a deep threat, being very good. And also, let's take into account our, running back passing, with the screen passes, which don't get many yards. But they do get passing touchdowns, and they lower interceptions. Deep passes, they gain interceptions. So I estimate 2 more touchdowns, 2 more interceptions, and about 50 more passing yards. So that is 3,079 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. And that is the final stat line. That's not as good as Philip Rivers' first year, by any means. But Philip Rivers also had 2 years before to sit and learn from Drew Brees. Jacob Eason is getting a chance to sit and learn from Philip Rivers, but he can also learn from Philip Rivers while being the starter. So I don't know. I'm not saying the Colts should make him the starter today. But I'm saying, I think once Philip Rivers does leave, or retires, or does whatever, we should start Jacob Eason. Just my opinion. Take it with what you want. It might be wrong. Again, those are just estimations. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. We'll just probably see how it goes, because the Colts drafted him for a reason. They're not just going to draft him and then not try to get anything out of him. There's probably going to be at least one time this season where they put Jacob Eason out there to throw a few passes if we have a huge lead. I mean, we're facing some terrible teams still. The Lions, we're facing them, and maybe, just maybe, we'll blow out the Lions in the second half, get some Jacob Eason. Maybe, just maybe. I will see you guys in the next video. The subscriber I was talking about, his name is T.Y. Well, his name is not T.Y. Hilton, but his channel name is T.Y. Hilton. I do not think it is the actual T.Y. Hilton. He had me fooled there for a second. I was like, holy crap, that's the actual T.Y. Hilton. And then I said, never mind, Luke. It's not the actual T.Y. Hilton. But it's still pretty cool to gain a subscriber. Normally, I don't get notifications of it. I don't know why. I have notifications turned on for that. But, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bears fans, you can drink the water out of my toilet.